I'm glad I don't record live reactions when I read some of these chapters, because if you would have seen my reaction when I was reading this chapter, it was somewhat along the lines of, this fucking chapter's got like case and point. Let's start off with Bartolomeo. We find out in this chapter the connection that he has to Luffy is that he's a Luffy fanboy. Ever since he saw him in Logtown when he got struck down by lightning, he's been just a freaking fan of his. And I was like, yo, this is freaking crazy. And then he chops dudes' tongues off for talking about him. One of them was a noble at that. So that's even more epic than when Luffy went and punched one of the nobles back in Shibundi. It's like, yo, he cut dude's tongue off for talking shit about Luffy. Bartolomeo for the motherfucking win. Bartolomeo for Straw Hat. And we also find out that he was a slum boss back in his hometown. And then he slowly wanted to become basically like Luffy, so he set out to sea. So pretty much we got explanations on Bartolomeo. The mystery behind him is over. And pretty much soon he's gonna probably eventually try to follow Luffy. I hope it doesn't become a running gag, because that would get annoying. It's like he just keeps following Luffy from island to island, helping him out, but he's too scared to approach him, so he keeps doing it from a distance. I hope by the end of this arc he approaches him and helps him out and they become friends. Hell, if he joins the Straw Hat crew, that would be epic as hell. If not, he's still a freaking awesome character, and I would love to see him stick around for a while, because right now he just impressed the fuck out of me, cutting dudes' tongues off for talking about somebody he admires greatly. And as predicted, the whole thing with Don Chinjiao pretty much burying the grudge against Luffy, and he even buries the grudge against Garp, which I didn't predict. I didn't really think that he would get rid of that grudge against Garp, since it was so long that he was without his head like that. But he said, you know, all is forgiven. I'm just so glad you gave me back my power to, you know, get my treasure and whatnot. You put my head back to the way it was. And he's just freaking excited. Which he should be, because at the end of the day, now he has the power to do what he wanted to do, and all his misery and anguish is out the window. And just the comedy in this chapter was golden. He goes to freaking bow down to him, and then he breaks the floor, and before that, Luffy's just like, yo, isn't this done already? I kicked your ass. What more do you want from me? That's the comedy I like. Accidental stuff, not intended to be a hilarious thing, but it turns out freaking golden. And he also said that he entrusted the Hoppo Navy to Luffy, and this is just definitely reaffirming me that by the end of this arc, there's gonna be a huge battle where Don Chinjiao, the Hoppo Navy, you know, Don Chinjiao's grandson, everybody, they're all going to help Luffy and the Straw Hats possibly escape, possibly fend off the Navy. I don't know what, but there's gonna be a huge battle now that he has Don Chinjiao pretty much helping him out. And Don Chinjiao is legendary. He went up against Garp the Fist. Shit is going to get so fucking real. The setup in this chapter was just out the fucking world. Now, the interesting thing that just, out of everything, caught me the most. Blackbeard on the Dendenmushi with Burgess. Seemingly, Aokiji is working with the Blackbeard pirates. What the fuck? Now, to be honest with you, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be 100%. I think that he's not really, because we've seen Aokiji. He has a good heart. He let Robin escape. I don't think that he would be like, oh, I'm on that same type of league as Blackbeard. I want to be like him. He's above all that shit. So I don't think if he is with the Blackbeard pirates that he's actually evil. I think he's doing that maybe to take them down, possibly. And it's interesting that this connects back. Oda foreshadowed this at the end when they were talking about the rumors are true about Aokiji. It's just like, Oda's foreshadowing is fucking golden. When Blackbeard says Washilu's like that as well, I think Burgess is worried because he feels like, well, he was once with the government, and Blackbeard's trying to reaffirm, oh, don't worry, Shilu was a part of the government as well at one point. But the difference is, Shilu was a cold-hearted motherfucker even before he went to prison, even before everything. And Aokiji, while he's not with the government anymore, is not that he's just this horrible guy. Burgess being the piece of shit that he is, he probably can sense that. And what I mean by piece of shit, I mean just this nasty, fucking heartless motherfucker. And here's where the conflict of interest is going to start arising between Blackbeard and Luffy. Because right now, Blackbeard is just like taunting Luffy. He don't give a fuck about him. It's just like, whatever, your brother's dead, bitch. You know, he's just down talking him. But what's going to piss off Blackbeard is, I guarantee you, it's going to be Luffy that's going to take the fucking Mera fruit. And he's going to actually beat Burgess in the process. And that's a no-no when it comes to Blackbeard. Because Blackbeard, he's always wanted Ace. He said in the chapter, you know, I asked Ace to be a part of my crew once and he turned me down. So I want to get his fruit so I can give it to Burgess and have somebody with those powers on my crew. And Luffy taking that fruit and fucking up Blackbeard's plan to get that is going to be a very problematic issue when it comes to Blackbeard. In comes the hatred. But going back to the whole Aokiji thing, it's also shown that, like, you know, he went and helped out Smoker. He considers Smoker still a friend. And I'm not buying for a second that he's as evil as Blackbeard. I really think that he's working with him, if anything, just to further some sort of goal to take him down or something, because Aokiji is not a bad guy. He's a good guy at heart. But just the thought of him being with the the Blackbeard pirates is like a plot twist and a fucking half, and I love it. Then the end of the chapter, it wasn't my favorite part of the chapter per se. That's where it kind of felt a little bit like not as interesting as the rest of the stuff, but it was still kind of entertaining, where Rebecca pretty much tries to betray Luffy, giving him food and then having them hold him so that she could try to stab him. It's like, bitch, you want something? And Luffy escaping from that is really what gave her the realization and made her break down. It's like, I can't even, with the help of these guys holding him, take him down. So he's already out of my league, and he's in the tournament. So I'm not going to be able to get this Mera fruit, even though I needed desperately to get rid of the Don Quixote family because they're oppressing everybody. And we even get more into Doflamingo and what he's been doing to these people. Pretty much, if you go up against him, not only are you going to prison, but you're going to have to compete in the Coliseum until you win 1,000 battles. So in essence, Doflamingo is just like every other politician. Say good shit to the public, but then be a sneaky little bastard on the inside. And at the end of the day, Luffy, just like he helped Nami, just like he helped many people, he is definitely going to try to help Rebecca, and this is what's going to make his goal pretty much to stop Doflamingo and put him down in this arc. Because he's going to see this country and he's like, yo, this isn't right. I feel bad for this girl. What the fuck is, you know, she's crying. She's here like in pain. So this is also setting up that Luffy ain't going to stop until he fucks up Doflamingo. Prediction from me is that I think that Luffy is going to be able to defeat Doflamingo at the end of this arc. I think Doflamingo is going to lose his status as being king of Dressrosa. And I think later on in the story, he's not going to die in this arc. I think later on in the story, we're going to see him and he's just going to be like a shell of his former self, not really smiling possibly. And it's just going to be a radical departure from who he is. Again, it's a stretch, but that's just a prediction that I could see something very crazy happening. Overall chapter, I'm giving this one 9.5 out of 10. The setup, the foreshadowing, the stuff with Blackbeard, all the craziness that went down in this chapter, 9.5 out of 10. Because this chapter dealt with a lot of stuff that is outside of the actual arc. Because a lot of the stuff with this arc that people have been saying is slow, and is understandable why it's been kind of slow, is that it's been dealing with stuff within this arc, within this island. But this chapter kind of blows and branches out to other stuff that's going on in the world, such as Blackbeard and all the craziness, Aokiji. It wasn't a masterpiece, but it was fucking great and beyond, and definitely one of my favorite chapters of One Piece probably all year long. Blackbeard, Aokiji combination. You gotta love it. Let me know what you guys think. First of all, Aokiji, is he indeed with the Blackbeard pirates? If so, what do you think he's doing? Me personally, I say that he's just playing Blackbeard for a fool, and he's gonna eventually overthrow Blackbeard, or he's trying to take down the Blackbeard pirates because they're such a threat to the world. Bartolomeo, do you think it's possible he'll become a Nakama now that he has this fanboy for Luffy and he respects him to the utmost? And while I'm at it, Bartolomeo cutting off the tongues, is that a more epic thing of doing to a noble than what Luffy did on Shibundi? Now that Don Chinchou pretty much put the Hoppo Navy in Luffy's hands, do you think we're going to have an epic clash at the end of this arc with the Marines? And will Rebecca sobbing there be the spark that makes Luffy decide that he wants to take down Doflamingo once and for all and dethrone him from Dressrosa's kingdom? A lot of questions. Amazing chapter of One Piece. Let me know in the comment section below and your overall thoughts of the greatness that we got. But that's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Thumbs up for everything in this chapter. Fuck it. Just thumbs up for everything because it was just like too much to handle. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, One Piece!